you guys, it's Nurse Bay Amber J here, and today I want to talk about things that you should know before starting nursing school. These are things that I would tell myself before I got started, and these are things I really think you should know because nursing school is life changing. I'm pretty sure you know everybody who is in nursing school. When you talk to them about it or if you ask about it, it is no joke. So here's some tips. I hope you enjoy them, and I hope you enjoy nursing school. And let's get started. I know when I told you that nursing school is life-changing, it's for the better. You'll become a person that you never think you'd become. Before nursing school, I was just all over the place. I wasn't punctual, have steady dedication. Nursing school will give you that mental structure. So you're going to have different thinking. You're going to read a lot more, have different eating and study habits. You're going to have better time management skills. It's going to force you to have that. Learn to cope with stress a little bit differently. You're going to learn to prioritize what's important and what isn't. And it's going to be financially difficult at times. So you're going to learn to limit your spending. The better you are with those things I have just listed, the easier nursing school will be for you. It's going to be hard at first, but I promise you it's very much worth it. And I love the person nursing school has made me become. So number one, nursing school is very time consuming. Always say, oh, I can do this in school. Nursing school will show you immediately you cannot. With nursing school, going to class is mandatory. You'll be even charged a fine if you don't go to class. At my school, they charge you $150 for each clinical lecture lab that you miss without proof of an emergency or other things. So if you wake up one morning and say, I don't feel like going to school today, you can't do that with nursing school unless you have a big fat wallet and you have $150. That's at my school is $150 to give to them. At other schools, I heard it's $200, $250. Going to class is priority in nursing school. You can't miss class and expect to pass. Nursing school is where all the learning in the process comes from lecture. 12-hour clinicals. Yes, I said it, 12-hour clinicals from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Working in the hospital under other nurses. It's a long day, so you can imagine how tired you're going to be. The day before your clinical day, you're going to need to rest to have enough energy before the clinical day, and the day after, depending on what type of sleeper you are. I like to sleep, so the day after clinical, I don't really want to do much because the day before, I literally was just up around for 12 hours to 5-hour lab and lecture days. So that it takes 4 hours to get all the information you need per lecture. So you can imagine how much information that is. If it takes 4 to 5 hours to give you information on something, you can imagine the workload. And you get 4 to 5 lectures per exam. That's almost 20 hours of lectures worth of work. Do you think you can just miss class and pass with that? It's not likely. You have to study every day. Every single day, you're going to have to study because I don't know anybody in this world who can get 20 hours worth of lecture work and study it within 3 days and ace an exam. You must understand what you were taught. 70% of learning in nursing school goes outside of the classroom. So if the teacher teaches you about fluid and electrolytes, you had to go back out and reinforce what you were learned to make sense of it. And guess what? Nursing school is not rounded. So if you get a 69.5, you have to repeat the entire semester. The workload. You are going to have a big workload in nursing school. It's going to be bigger than any other. Lots of chapters are going to be taught at one time. I told you that classes are 4 to 5 hours. So much information is going on within that period of time. You should be ready to learn about pediatrics, elderly, and adolescents and all types of things in depth. So your stress level will increase. And remember I told you about those 12-hour clinical days? You also have to do work during those 12-hour clinical days and turn in your assignment at the end of the clinical. You're going to just learn how to adapt to this heavy workload with school that's became your first priority all around other things like working, having time for yourself because you need time for yourself which is something else I'm going to talk about, and having time for friends and family. Which brings me to friends and work. A lot of extracurricular activities will have to be cut short. You may spend less time hanging out on weekends, especially the weekends before your exams. She right here, Sarah RN, is going to be your best friend because a lot of things you're not going to understand the first time you hear it, even read it. So you're going to have to go back and watch videos on it. Teaching yourself in nursing school and getting a tutor is very important. So you're not going to have time to go out and do anything like that. Those things will need to be scheduled at least 2 weeks in advance. Yes, you're going to have to make appointments staying out with your friends during these 2 years of nursing school if you want to be successful. Because remember, they don't round up. So if you get a 69.5, you're repeating the entire semester and you're not getting a refund. I want you to understand that most people don't get A's in nursing school. Average nursing student makes a low B or a C, which is the minimum. You can Google it and don't beat yourself up if you make a C. Look, C's get degrees. You don't have to be A. You don't have to be Houdini. You don't have to be a master at nursing school. Your goal is to pass the NCLEX and become a RN. A B or a C is great. B's are beautiful, in my opinion. For example, if you need to know about potassium and how fluid and electrolytes of sodium and potassium affects the body, you cannot just memorize potassium. Make it make sense. You must know how it affects the body. What happens if it is low? If it is high, should they eat? And what should the nurse do? You can memorize the electrolytes, but if they give you a scenario, you must know the nursing action, which is most important. What needs to be done for each patient in each and every scenario related to each and every disease, whether it be measles, mumps, flu, Reye syndrome, rheumatic fever, things like that. It's a lot of information. So a lot of studying, and some exams will require different studying. So you may have to switch your initial study pattern from university or high school based on your needs for this content. So it's a lot of adjustments that you need to make within yourself, and everybody knows change within yourself is hard, especially if you was doing this before and it was working and it's not working now. YouTube, watch a lot of YouTube videos, studying every day, reviewing all the content from that day. Remember, nursing school is temporary. You're going to have mental breakdowns. You're going to want to drop out, going to question everything. But I want you to understand that you can do it. See you soon, future nurse.